Heavy Radio 4, July 12th, 2020. We gotta, pay some bills here to start off the show. I know it's everybody's favorite part of the show is the adverts, as they
Mm-hmm.
say.
Across the
Um,
pond.
have you ever heard of this great quality home game from Butler Brothers? There, Eric.
No, I
It's
have not,
called
Marco.
it's called Nukem. You
Uh,
don't you dare cross my line of death. Um, I'm going to cut off your military aid, Buster. And so this is a great game. It's a home game from Butler Brothers. It's called Nukem. And don't let Pakistan threaten your borders. Get them before they get you. Check it out, Nukem. Quality home game from Butler Brothers.
it's a fitting product for these RoboCop times.
Yes, Heavy Radio 4.
Heavy Radio Episode 4. How are you doing, sir?
I'm I'm doing a about as well as I can be after another week of people getting sick everywhere.
It just keeps on coming. 2020, the year that's got a surprise behind every door.
Yes,
Um, Same here, my friend. Just been working. I got back from a trip, so back to the grind and doing my thing, playing a little heavy metal music, finding some new tunes. So,
yeah, working a lot, but pretty much on my days off, I'm just trying to support some of my great local businesses that I love. Some of my friends that I grew up down the street from have a new pizza place called Doco. So
nice.
I've been trying to, be supportive of them and spread that word. Then there's
Heck
a
yeah.
great Mediterranean restaurant. Check that out. And I have a friend, Kelsey Magnolia, that actually makes these pins that I purchased from her. They have like really old school wrestlers from one is Frank Gotch, who is actually from Iowa, from the time where wrestling was sort of just a lot more. The guys grapple and really, I
Yeah.
guess at the end of his time was when it really started being questionable as to whether there was some sort of predetermination or fix, but when he started, it was very much accepted as this is one guy fighting until two guys fighting until one guy can't go on anymore, sort of thing.
Heck yeah. It's awesome. Well, definitely get out there. Listeners, support all those businesses if you can. Always got to support local folks.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I'm sure it'll look a lot different when we come out of this than it did before. A lot of people probably won't make it in their current shops, so we'll see. That's why you got to try to help out the ones that are still fighting.
It is a hell of a year, my friend. Um,
Um, that being said, definitely try to fill it with when I do have free time. Fill it with some things that make me happy.
as you
There
have to.
was this was really cool to me. There's this one of my news stories here to get into it. Was I
The
discovered this
news.
this podcast called ACDC Beyond the Thunder. Have you heard of that?
Uh-uh.
I think it was originally going to be a documentary, but because of different shit that was going on, they turned it into a podcast with different episodes. Um, but they have um, different people from pop culture talking about the ACDC and what kind of impact they had on them. And they started off season two, episode one, with an interview from Lemmy. So it was really kind of awesome to hear an interview with Lemmy that I hadn't heard before, kind of like getting just a little special um, surprise, and then also that where he wasn't really talking about Motorhead or his own work, he was talking about ACDC. So it was kind of just a really cool podcast. It's called ACDC Beyond the Thunder, and the one I've checked out so far was the Lemmy episode. So it was just kind of cool. Like he had some stories about ACDC. And it's kind of weird to think about. Motorhead and ACDC started at about the same time. Definitely
Mm-hmm.
when Bond took over, it was right when Motorhead was starting out. So it's interesting to think about it from that aspect.
Yep. Both timeless bands too. I'll have to check that out. I didn't even know that was a thing, so I'll definitely check that
Yeah,
out.
and he talks about he's done at least one or two, I think, ACDC covers where he was a part of it. Long Way to the Top, If You Want to Rock and Roll was one, and it was kind of like perfect, a perfect fit.
That's
But
right.
yeah, it's cool just to hear the mutual respect that they have and had for each other, and um, that they had for a lot of the same, rock and roll and blues artists. I think they both played some Little Richard at one point or the other, and both had nothing but high praise to give, and said that was a major inspiration. So it's kind of cool to hear those shared influences as well.
Yeah, I would say those are two of the they're two of the biggest bands in hard rock, hard music, period, but also extremely like widespread appeal their entire careers, and also two of the only bands that kept that spirit of the classic rock and roll like throughout time, still do. So
Yeah, and what I thought was cool is neither one, ACDC or Motorhead, ever really called themselves heavy metal. They
right.
just kind of heavy metal came out around them, and they had heavy enough elements that people just kind of lumped them in there. But I think they always considered themselves rock and roll bands.
Yeah, totally. And have countless people they've inspired.
Yeah,
So
from all
hell
over
yeah.
the map, from punk rock to heavy metal to artists
Yep.
that aren't even maybe things,
Blues.
yeah, things we call heavy, we would put on heavy radio, but aren't necessarily heavy metal because of that very reason. Like the heavy is not necessarily meaning um, heavy more as an art form or something. Yeah, how it makes you feel.
Heck yeah. Well, speaking of heavy, there's this band called Animals as Leaders, um, led by Tosin Abasi, and they just jumped into the live stream game. Just a couple days ago, or a few days ago, they did a live stream concert, which I actually want to check out. I haven't had a chance yet, but um, definitely looks cool. They played like a full on set. Did you know what is the what, 7 or 8 songs? So, um, but yeah, it's really cool. I He's easily one of the most talented guitar players out there, and I think he's probably one of the. I think he's the person to watch right now in the guitar game. Um, so definitely want to check that out. I'm still discovering their music. I can't say I know all their songs, but I definitely enjoy every time I get to watch them because I always find a new song I like, and their playing is, I mean, it speaks for itself. So, yeah, if you're a fan or curious about, I've really checked him out. You can see him live, and I think that definitely is one of those bands that's just even better live. Seeing them.
Yeah, and I think a lot more people are checking out the live performances because they can't go to concerts in most cases. And
Mm.
I always loved. I think we both had a shared love of, and still do, of watching old live concerts and even current live concerts. But for whatever
Oh
reason,
yeah.
it didn't seem to be. Um, insanely popular, but I think it's on an upswing in popularity. Just probably because people can't get out and see the live version, the live in person version.
Yeah, totally. Music,
Um,
music finds a way.
yeah, and I really one thing that has helped me get through some of the tougher days is like kind of hearing some of these rad people. I really enjoyed D. Snyder was on Jamie Josta's podcast. I think his latest or second to latest guest, and it's always to me always refreshing to hear D. Snyder just because he seems like a really good dude, a really good head on his shoulders, and he also um, even during this current time of people getting sick, I think he has a really good way of looking at it that I share for the most part. Is it's not necessarily having to trust the government or trust what anyone is telling you, but we do know that people are getting sick, even if we don't know the exact nature of the coronavirus. I don't think anyone could say that they know it at this point. It's just not it's still a matter of scientific study. But you do know that people are getting sick, and you should try to do anything you can to make sure hospitals don't get overwhelmed. And that's I think just his take on that is hopefully something that a lot of people can understand. Maybe something that a lot of people need to hear if they haven't kind of looked at it from that way. But
Yep. No, it's definitely um, good to keep watching new things. Still, music's got me through. I'm sure in our listeners gotten us through a lot of things. So this is it's always good to tap back in because it rings true. It's something we all say a lot, like, "Oh, music gets me through hard times," but when them hard times come,
yeah, and
uh,
he did
those
talk
dusty
about
roads know.
his latest album, which I thought was pretty rad, D. Snyder, and also some different movies that he's working on. I always really enjoyed his movie Strangeland. I guess he's still kind of in that pre-production hell of trying to get that created, but he's apparently got a couple other horror movies that he's working on. So, um, and I don't believe it's anything D. Snyder is connected to. But have you heard about that Halloween Kills? Is it?
Yep, and Halloween ends. There's
And
two.
Halloween
There's
Ends.
second and third.
They're the
Yeah, they got
second and
pushed
third
back.
based on the most recent film, right? So it's a trilogy.
Yep. Yeah, John Carpenter's making them, and Jamie Lee Curtis is in both of them. They had to push them all back a year. The second one was supposed to come out this Halloween, and then the third one was going to come out 21, and now everything's been shifted back a year. So 21 and
Yeah,
22
I
now.
I love those John Carpenter albums too. I have the LP and the digital versions, and I mean
Oh hell yeah.
it's almost surreal listening to those albums and just walking around right now because it's like the perfect soundtrack, really.
You are the movie. You are the
It
John
is.
Carpenter movie now, my
Life
friend.
is the John Carpenter movie.
You gotta tuck in your flannel shirt and
You
put on
gotta
some
be,
sunglasses and
yeah, and
chew
just
bubble gum.
make people eat the trash can if they don't, uh, start seeing what's going on.
Gotta make them wear the sunglasses so they can see what's happening.
You're gonna be eating that trash can.
Hmm.
You look like your
Hell
head
yeah.
fell in the cheese dip back in the day.
Isn't it still an epic
It's
movie, man?
real ugly. This one is
This
real
one,
ugly.
real fucking ugly. All right. My next story. I actually did watch this one. I got a chance to see this. It was Jerry Cantrell has a new little mini documentary interview with Gibson TV. You can watch it on YouTube, as I did. But it's cool. It's really, if you're an Alice in Chains fan, it's. I heard some stuff, some stories I hadn't heard before, um, and just kind of how his upbringing and how he formed Alice in Chains and cool stories along the way. Like there's some stuff about meeting Dimebag, which I didn't know, and some other people. So if you're a fan of Alice in Chains in any way, or if you're a fan of guitar, it's definitely a cool documentary because guitar is definitely the main focus of a lot of it. So um, yeah, it's really cool. It was a real fun surprise just to see that on pop up on YouTube.
Yeah, we talked about it many of time now, but for whatever reason, when I was a kid, I didn't quite get the whole grunge thing. But now, I mean, Alice in Chains is up there with one of my favorite bands going. For whatever reason, um, yeah, I love Jerry Cantrell. Can't say enough about how much he kicks the ass.
He said he's working on a new solo album too in that thing. So
Hell yeah.
hell
Um,
yeah.
so, one thing to look forward to on the horizon is um, Mike Judge is bringing back Beavis and Butthead. Um,
That
and I
I heard
actually
rumors.
in that so yeah, Mike Judge is going to write, produce, and provide voices for. It seems to be like a whole thing, like multiple seasons, and then some different sorts of spin-offs and specials. So it's a definitely um, a return of the Beavis and the Butthead, and Mike Judge is on board. So, I can't imagine that I will not be entertained by that. One thing that reminded me of was during that Lemmy interview. They talked about how Beavis and Butthead were fans of ACDC and Motorhead, and Lemmy was like, people come up to me, man, and say, Beavis and Butthead like your band, man. And he's like, he's like, they're cartoon characters, man. He's just very like dry about it, like they're fucking cartoon characters, like they can't, they're not people that like my band. But I just thought his response was funny to it. But
That's funny. Yeah, that's rad. I wonder if it's gonna be on like. I wonder where they're gonna stream it at. I wonder if it's
I
gonna be on
think
like
it's gonna
MTV's network or
be
what.
through Comedy Central.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can. It's up Viacom. I guess owns both of them. So that makes sense.
Yeah,
Hell
so
yeah.
I think that'll be cool. We'll see how Mike Judge does here in taking on
Hmm.
post 2020 world.
Hell yeah. Well, speaking of the early '90s times, segues into mine. Can't get away from it because this is our reality. But looks like Axl Rose jumped into Twitter to fight our Surgeon General Jerome Adams last week. So he got into it with them, and you can go on Twitter for yourselves at home to watch the exchange. But it was pretty funny to me. So Axel's definitely made his opinions known. And he's basically just saying like I'm an American citizen, so I can say whatever I want. So he's that's like the second time like government people have been like, hey, be quiet, you're a famous artist, and he's like, whatever, I'm a citizen. So I don't know.
I don't know.
It's
I've
interesting.
always
It's just funny to headline no matter what.
Axl Rose is one of those people that I kind of put in that category with Danzig and Dave Mustaine. Like a lot of people call them assholes. They probably are assholes, but I can't help but like them. I guess I don't know. I always think it's pretty awesome when Axel gets in the ring, so to speak. So
Yeah, I can't
um,
argue with what he's saying lately about all this things and people currently working. And if any of you guys follow me on Instagram, you already know how I feel. So no shockers there. Um, but yeah, it's just a funny headline to see Axl Rose fight Surgeon General.
I don't know. I guess I would rather see people like Axel get involved than just kind of
Hey,
ignore.
fuck it,
Just
man. Might as
ignore.
well.
Why ignore how you're feeling? Well, to me,
Yeah, fuck
well,
it.
especially Axel wrote, that song "Don't Damn Me," which I feel like, how could you write that song and then just not? not follow through with speaking your mind. So I don't know. I
More
guess
throw
I'd
Civil
almost
War.
rather know where people stand instead of just like they're um, secretly have these political opinions that I
Mm.
would totally disagree with, but they're like not saying anything. I mean, to me, that's weirder than just saying it. I don't know. I don't know.
But yeah, well, putting it in a song is one thing, but then people can kind of dismiss when you put it in a song. So sometimes you just gotta say shit. I guess 2020, man. Fuck it.
Make you want
Why
to say
not?
something.
Sometimes you gotta say something. I guess so.
20 plus 20, 40 ounce of
20
malt
plus
liquor make
20.
you want to say something.
Oh man. If anyone knows what trailer that's from, then you win the prize of the week. If you know what late '90s movie that came from.
um, yeah. So we have a couple special events for Heavy Radio 4. We have a this is the Oops All New Songs edition. So all of our
Hmm.
tracks are recent or new from our playlist, and then we also have a topic for the week. Which is just kind of your top five albums that just kind of get you amped, that get you hyped, that you just grab when you want to rock. I want to
Yeah.
rock. Dun, 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 dun,
Well,
dun,
and
dun, dun.
I actually got three quick ones. If we're about before we roll into the topic,
Yeah, you want to do the
if you want to
hype
roll through 'em.
albums first?
Or well, I can roll through these. I just got three quick news stories.
Oh
They're
yeah,
real.
sure.
They kind of they're little ones. They kind of tail together. So these two are the UK government has cleared the way for outdoor concerts to resume. So it looks like they're in the UK. They're able to go back to concerts pretty soon, as long as they're socially distanced. So that's cool. I wish we could say that. I won't elaborate right now because we don't have the time. Then tied to that is Judas Priest has announced that they're rescheduling their 50th anniversary shows to 2021. So and at this rate, looks like they'll be able to do that next year. So excited for them. I'm glad they're going to get out. If anyone deserves to have a 50th anniversary tour, it'd be the Priest. So
Oh yeah.
um, excited they're getting out there. Then the last quick one is if you feel charitable and you love chocolate milk, Alice Cooper is selling chocolate milk for charity right now. So it's going to his Solid Rock Foundation. Um, so yeah, if you want to make a contribution to Alice Cooper's Solid Rock the Foundation, I'm not sure if that's um, yep, that's his foundation, Solid Rock. So if you want to make a donation, you can get some chocolate milk. It's got Alice Cooper's face on it. So get Alice Cooper chocolate milk and do something awesome for somebody. So it's a win-win. How can you go wrong?
Not Alice Cooper chocolate milk, not fake news.
Hell of these the headlines I've saw across my Chrome tabs this morning were just it's fun.
Yeah. Um,
But
I,
yes,
I think
now that I wanted to
Alice
get those
Cooper is
stories out.
another person that I think a pretty good dude who hasn't shied away from speaking his truth either. So totally, I
Based
actually
God
love
Alice
I
Cooper.
love his radio show, and he cracks me up. It's just a dry wit.
Alice
Cracks.
Cooper was the first. He was the first guy growing when we were growing up. When I realized that you didn't have to be one thing, because he was just like, yeah, I'm a metalhead. Yeah, I chop off mannequins' heads. Also, I golf and I shake hands with presidents, and I also
Yeah,
do charity,
it's
and
like
I do like
he's
comedy bits with the Muppets. He can do
yeah
whatever the fuck he wants to do.
he's
And I was like, all
rock,
right,
but
okay.
not rock, metal, but not metal. Like what the
He's
fuck?
done blues.
He
He does like
is.
big show tunes, dance music, whatever the fuck. He does whatever he wants.
And
I
then
respect that
makes like
shit.
a really dark album out of nowhere about a serial killer.
Yep. Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
Alice
I
Cooper,
want to see them again.
stand up dude in my book, and
Can't
makes
go
me
wrong.
makes me laugh a lot.
Yes.
Um, but yeah, so with
Be that
that,
walk back.
without further ado, we'll get into
Yes.
our
Topic
hype
of the week.
topic of the week: top five hype albums.
Yeah, I'll elaborate. When I thought of this idea, I was just thinking like it's hard to put into words, but it's I figure in these dark times, it's nice to have some stuff you can rely, kind of how we were just talking about a little bit ago. But basically, five records that when you just want to get in your car and drive around, or maybe hang out in your room, just put on the big over your giant headphones. You just want to just records that you can just put in. You know they're going to get you hype. You're going to feel good. Brings back some good memories. And when you're feeling down, these records just lift you up and get you feeling good again, so you can keep rocking. So that's kind of it's hard to put into words, but yeah, basically hype records.
Damn, son, we'll count it off.
All right, sir. Well, first one. Let's see what order I put these in. Yes, this is actually in a pretty good order. All right, so first one I picked is Queensryche Operation Mindcrime. Um, a concept record, arguably one of their, if not their best the record, Queensryche's record, Queensryche, if I can talk. It's just the whole thing is awesome, front to back. It brings back happy memories for me when I got into it. I think it was like senior high school, and just brings back fun memories. And I just listened to it a ton. And also, just that album just immediately grabs my attention, and I almost can't. I have to listen to the whole thing when I start it, and like within like 5 minutes, like I'm Jeff Tate. I'm like into the storyline. Like I'm just having fun. So no matter what's happening around me, like I can just kind of escape to that record, and I'm in another world for an hour.
Hell yeah. I mean, I oftentimes listen to Revolution Calling, and I'm like, this is pretty fucking relatable.
Oh
And
man, don't get me started.
um,
I'll start singing it, man. I listened to it last night.
spreading the disease, the needle lies. I mean, fuck. Chris DeGarmo is a amazing guitar player. Michael Wilton also one of the hardest hitting rhythm sections that I've ever heard or seen. Eddie Jackson and Scott Rockenfield, like these motherfuckers break. I don't know how their instruments hold up to a show. Just they're fucking hard hitters. Eyes of a Stranger. I don't believe in love. I'm with you there.
Yeah,
goddamn, like it just doesn't
every
quit.
song's a
It
banger.
doesn't
Even the in
quit.
between stuff has cool ass
And I
parts.
don't. I almost want to give Tate the benefit of the doubt for being such a douchebag at times because goddamn, he wrote all these lyrics, right? So he can't be that bad, I
Like Dave
guess.
Chappelle,
I don't know unless he went
he
down.
wrote Operation Mindcrime, dog.
Yeah, you
He wrote
wrote
it.
Operation Mindcrime. Like
He wrote it.
I don't know. I don't know. As far as I know, he didn't do. He hadn't like you know done any of the rapey things. So whatever, man. Just let him
No,
do
I've never heard. I can say
his
unequivocally, I've never
wine,
heard
and
that.
his uh, whatever his weird little cabaret shows, and have his wine, and hopefully they can just like be at peace with each other because they've made some amazing albums, and I can't even believe this was just their third album, right? So it's like what
Oh
the
well, yeah.
fuck?
It depends how you classify that first one, but yeah, it's still like first like 5 years of them as a band.
Like what they like
So
evolved at superhuman speed to make this album, in '88. So it's like just crazy,
yeah,
crazy to think about.
Rage for Order was almost there, but then this one
I
has some
do
other
love
stuff.
that album,
Yeah.
but Mindcrime is just
Oh
like a
hell yeah, dude.
like definitive classic. Um,
Yeah, for the genre.
my start out my hype albums, top five hype albums. I'm going with Danzig 3, How the Gods Kill. And
Okay,
speaking
yeah.
of that kind of Alice Cooper vibe of, is this metal? Is this rock? Is this punk? We don't fucking know. Just don't think about it. Just put it on and fucking jam. Just fucking jam. Because, I mean, this lineup just, to me, is can't be touched. Johnny Christ, Eerie Vaughn, Chuck
Great
Biscuits,
guitar tones.
Chuck Biscuits on drums, just like kind of the perfect. It's like what I don't know, just the idea also that he did two albums with Rick Rubin, where I've heard that Rick Rubin was had a lot to do with the like kind of why Mother became a hit. He like rearranged the song in such a way that it was just like it had that feel of you just don't want it to end. It just hits you so quick, so they played it all the fucking
Yeah,
time. But
that's
on
one of
this
those songs you can
album,
keep looping.
Glenn Danzig decided to self-produce a record, and it really, I don't know, it really shone through. I guess the alien creature that H.R. Geiger made on the cover, the record label originally had a problem with it because they didn't like the erotic erect penis of the master on the original Danzig skull symbol. So HR had to change the phallic album cover to appease the record label.
You
Um,
hate it when it happens, man. You hate it when that happens. That's
Danzig's
rough.
just always been an interesting dude to me. He said he wrote "Dirty Black Summer" about growing up in Jersey. It was kind of his version of a Jersey summer song, which is just really cool to me. Like his is the "Dirty Black Summer." Um, I
That's fitting.
guess he wanted to have bluesman Willie Dixon sing on "Heart of the Devil," and he actually agreed to contribute to the record, but Dixon passed away prior to being able to record. Um, so that would have made the record, just another level of special. And another interesting bit was when you open the liner notes, it makes a inverted cross, and I just always think Danzig's take is just always mind fucking because he said, I didn't consider this anti Christian. I found the image aesthetically pleasing, and the upside down cross wasn't a reference to Satan. If you knew anything about the upside down cross, you'd know it was a holy symbol. In fact, St. Peter was crucified upside down because he said it would be blasphemy to be crucified like his Lord Jesus Christ. So Danzig has just always got something.
Don't come at
He's
Danzig.
always got
Don't come
something
at Danzig unless you
interesting
want to talk about
to
shit.
say.
Don't
Yeah,
come at him.
yeah.
Don't come at
Don't
him
come at him
empty-handed. You better have
unless
something
you're
to say.
unless you're gonna do a quick, you know,
I saw his book
knockout
collection on
punch.
a documentary. I've seen his books.
Yes. So yeah, Danzig
I like
3 How
books.
the Gods Kill is my to start off my hype records. What else you got?
Let's see. This one probably isn't a shocker for anyone that knows me, but it is Van Halen 2, the second Van Halen record. That includes, it's just, once again, front to back, just makes me think of the summertime, and I'm happy, and every song on there is a banger, and like, you can't be bummed out listening to Van Halen. Like, you got to get on their level, and it's got like Dance the Night Away, which is just, it's one of my favorite songs, period, and might be my favorite Van Halen song, and it's on that track. And everybody's playing is great. All the vocals are perfect. The drums are perfect. Everything's amazing, and
Yeah, you would have
everyone knows I'm a
we'd
giant
have
Van
better
Halen fan
luck
anyway.
playing pickup sticks with our butt cheeks than not getting hyped to Van Halen 2.
Yeah, write a more banger record. It's classic,
Yeah,
classic summer staple, man. You have to.
hell yeah. And all
Period.
the interesting dynamic of having the brothers in the band whenever that happens. Always kind of another level, like ACDC and Van Halen.
Pantera.
Somebody get me a doctor. DOA, goddamn, you can't light up the sky. What?
Yep,
Yeah,
it's a burner, man. Ain't no and the opener. You're no good.
yes.
Great.
My next hype album, it's always kind of been my go-to for since I first heard it. It's the album that made me a lifelong fan of ACDC. It is High Voltage 1976, and I
Great.
don't even know what to really say. It's like part of the punk movement, part of rock and roll, part of blues. Um, it's just I don't know, the perfect kind of perfect thing for Bon Scott to be doing and singing on at the time. I guess it kind of got mixed reviews when it came out and got trashed by like Rolling Stone and whatever. And to me, it's just like I don't know. It just more stands to like it stood the test of time. Um, you know whether it's the bluesy, the Jack, kind of the Angus and Malcolm rocker. Can I sit next to you,
Can I sit next
girl?
to you, girl?
Yeah,
Yes,
TNT,
thank
little
you.
lover. She's got balls. I always thought it was funny. Bon Scott said one of his girlfriend at the time wanted him to write a song about her, so he wrote "She's Got Balls," and she didn't quite understand. I mean, to me, I get it. Like, yo, she's got balls, she's got attitude or whatever,
Attitude.
but I don't think she quite took it that way at the time.
Still a great
But
album.
yeah, yeah, you had George Young
It's a banger front to back.
doing the production. Malcolm just fucking pretty much holding it down, and then Angus and Bond going nuts.
Yep. Yeah, no, it's a rocking album. It's got bagpipes for God's sakes. You can't stay bummed out when bagpipes are just coming at you for like 2 minutes extended
No,
jam. Let's see. Next one might be a twist, surprise here, but it is Halloween, Master of the Rings, um, which is just I don't know. Like Halloween is I don't listen to them the most. I love the hell out of Halloween. I think they're the best power metal band, period. But in the pantheon of bands I listen to, um, probably don't listen to the most. But there's something about that record. It's just like special to me. It's got Soul Survivor, Perfect Gentleman, Why, all they just like. It's got If I Could Fly. It's just I don't know. It just like pumps me up and it takes me back to like high school. We're listening to it in our cars, like breaking speakers out because that has like a ton of bass in that mix,
uh,
and
have
it's
you ever
great.
heard the expanded edition? There's
Uh
some badass covers I remember on there. They do "Cold Sweat" by Thin Lizzy.
oh
"I Stole
shit.
Your Love" by
Okay,
Kiss.
sold.
I think that's one of my favorite
Ugh.
Kiss covers. "I Stole Your Love" by Halloween, and so Andy Darris. The idea that to me, you know, Halloween has had three great vocalists: Michael Kiske, Andy Darris, and Kai Hansen. And it's really cool to me that now they're all three together and they can kind of put the egos aside and just do what they know the fans want to see is pretty cool. But also
Hmm.
the idea that with Kiske coming out and really doing amazing on Keeper of the Seven Keys 1 and 2, like almost untouchable. And then Andy Darris comes in, and they don't really skip a beat. Some would argue this is the album that kind of gave them a longevity in their career, like gave them a whole second act, so they could come back today for the third act and all kind of be together. So yeah, no, I think it's a great album. It's really heavy. It's like power metal, but not there's not really anything else that you can compare it to. Um, it's funny at
It's
times.
good,
Perfect
man.
Gentleman is just a funny song, but really catchy. Yeah. Um, yeah.
It puts me in a vibe.
Yeah. And
Hell yeah.
I think Darius maybe, uh, give his Kiski a run for his money on like the ballad. Um, Definitely. Yeah. It's a cool record for sure. I'm with you there.
Pretty good album.
Pretty good. Um,
What you got
my
next?
next hype record, just put it on and fucking rock the fuck out, is Kiss Rock and Roll Over. And
Yeah.
I get it. Like everyone's like, oh, there's like if you were, it was before my time, but if you were a kid in the '70s, like that was the thing, like to like Kiss or whatever. But to me, it was really weird how this record, like, I wasn't part of any of that. And my mom was part of one of those record clubs, like, oh, if you get 7 records, we send you a free one or for a penny or whatever the fuck. And so, like, she got
Yep.
whatever record she
The younger
wanted,
folks might not
and
know.
then they sent her this one, and it was just unopened in my parents' record collection. I was just a little dude looking through it, and then like, I mean, just if you look at this album cover and just think of like pulling this out of like some Bee Gees albums and whatever they had, and then all of a sudden like it's like this fireball razor blade UFO thing with Ace Frehley's eyes like shooting laser beams and Gene Simmons' tongue all tonguing you, and the
It happens.
Starman's pouting lips, and Peter Criss is a cat on this. So yeah, so it was
Yeah.
unsealed,
I've seen the cover.
unsealed,
It's real.
and then I opened it, and these stickers fall out, and it's like, whoa, man, this is fucking. Like before I even heard it, I thought it was cool, and then it's like a short record, like half an hour of just unrelenting Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons like
The
molesting
hooks, man. The hooks on that
molesting
record. The
your
hooks.
eardrums for 30 minutes nonstop.
The hooks just intro, verse,
And
chorus,
then
hooks,
Peter
hooks. The
Criss
solos are
singing Hard
perfect.
Luck
There's
Woman
front to back.
was like, what, goddamn. Like the fact that he only sang a couple songs, but when he did, Baby Driver and Hard Luck Woman, goddamn.
Mr. Speed, Doctor
Yeah,
Love.
Making Love.
I want you.
I
The
Want
opener. The
You.
opener's fucking
Yes.
vicious. Yeah, that just sets the whole
I
tone
mean,
for
I
the whole
think that
record. It's
literally
just
did give
explosion.
me goosebumps when I heard that intro. And um, yeah, so, say what you will about Kiss. I can't agree with a lot of things about their career, but this record is on my hype records for sure.
Oh, I think it was on a personal note. I think it was paramount to you and I doing this, sitting here right now. Like that was one of those records that was like uh, I don't know, like a cement block on the building. Like it was like a foundational record,
Yeah, no,
along
no
with like
doubt.
the classics.
No doubt. I would say it's
Um,
probably one of their
Otherwise, we wouldn't be sitting here because of that
I would
record.
say one of their full, uh, just a complete record that is just a strong, strong record. Maybe one of their strongest, from my take.
Yeah, I'll go up to bat for Kiss music. It's not just a gimmick, but I will instead. I'll go up to bat for a band that doesn't need any bat, and actually, they just you gave them some love too. But I chose a different record. My next one is AC/DC Back in Black. So if you want to talk about an album that doesn't stop, every track, goddamn fire, all hooks, no filler, just everything's a goddamn stone cold classic. Most bands wish they could write one song as good as one track on AC/DC's Back in Black, and they give you a whole album of them. It's
Uh, you,
perfect. I don't know anything I can say wrong about that record.
Perfect as a tribute
It's a
to
perfect
Bon
album.
Scott too. Like just the fact, like
Also,
one of you conquered the rock world with one of your brothers, and then he goes down in battle, and you come back with Back in Black. Like what the fuck?
yeah, it's a follow up to the little record Highway to
I mean,
Hell.
honestly, it's
So
one of those things that
it's
was
like
really
two of the best
touching
records
too,
ever.
because Bon Scott, as I understand, recommended Brian Johnson to Angus and Malcolm. He was like, "This guy's fucking the shit, man." And then they remembered him saying that, so they reached out to him and brought him in. And I guess he just kind of they just kind of were like, "Yo, here's our songs," and Brian was like, "All right, hold my beer. Here we go. Fucking let me put my love into you."
I think he said he sang as high and as hard as he possibly could at his audition, and they were just like, "Yeah, this works."
Yeah,
And like if the spirit of Riot, he said like some of those lyrics just and melodies just like came to him. So I don't know, man. But yeah, it's just every single song on there. Like if I'm having a bad day, if I'm not in the mood, if I don't want to do whatever I have to get done that day, if I got to run errands or something, I'll just put on that record. I'm instantly having a good time, and that's been true for the last like 20 years of my life. So that one's not going anywhere. That's
I
just a
mean
classic staple. And
the
if you haven't
production
listened to Back
too
in
is
Black, get
probably
out there.
like it's like something ACDC couldn't even
Perfect.
achieve themselves again. Like no one could. It's like
There's magic on that album, man. There's magic on that record.
yes, and you know what I always thought was funny. Pretty much every song is kind of a radio song, except for "Shake a Leg," and I always like that song. So I feel like even though everyone and their parents has talked about Back in Black, what we can point out here is "Shake a Leg." Fucking crank that song. All right. My next hype album is the $5.98 EP Garage Days Revisited. In case you have not heard, it's by a little known American heavy metal band called Metallica.
I like them.
Um,
I'm a fan of
yeah,
that
so
band.
they're one of those underground bands that a lot of people haven't heard of. So hopefully we can do the good work by bringing their music to the masses.
Get the word out.
Again, another sort of thing where they lost a brother on the road doing what they love, and then a new guy comes in who really, ironically, I think, sounds amazing on this record when you actually get to hear him, unlike sort of the production of the following records with him. But yeah, I think this for some reason this has just been one I could just always put on, and Helpless, the small hours always gets me. The weight, ugh. I know that is, kudos to Killing Joke and Holocaust for writing amazing songs, but the Metallica version is just nasty. Crash
Yeah.
Course in Brain Surgery from Budgie. Um, Great band, criminally underrated. And Last Caress, Green Hell, of course, from the Misfits. But
Also a good
yeah,
band.
it's like 25 minutes of ripping, snorting, and stomping. Um, and I do know Diamond Head especially, um, feels very grateful to Metallica, and I think Danzig does too, um, for basically helping them actually make money and survive during some tough times. I'm curious. I can't remember if Holocaust or Killing Joke or Budgie have really commented on that whole phenomenon, but I just can't imagine, like, even if they didn't really love Metallica, like, well, here's here's some actual money for playing music. I can't imagine they were mad at that.
No, and I mean like young metalheads like us that didn't we had to figure some stuff out on our own, like connecting the dots as far as music history and where things came from. Like those that record is so influential as being like, well, who wrote this song? Like, who's this band? Like, what is the Misfits? And then just like discovering new wave of British heavy metal. Not Misfits is, but you know what I'm saying. Like a lot of
I
that's
also
British heavy metal
loved
shit.
the idea of, um, it's almost 30 minutes for some bands. They sell you that as an album, but the band concluded that 598 EP so the fans wouldn't get overcharged in their mind. It had a sticker on it originally saying, if they try to charge more, steal it. So I always thought
Yeah.
this whole idea that people tried to turn around and say Metallica was greedy or whatever, like, um, to me, they've always kind of been the opposite. Like, tried to stay true to the the tape trading roots that they came from. Um, yeah, so it uh, just a all around cool vibe and raw recording, great work from the new Jason New kid on bass guitar. Um,
He's a pretty good bass
yeah,
player.
and I
Oh yeah,
guess
man.
we have to give it up to Kirk Hammett for including the weight from Killing Joke. That's just a great fucking song. Um, yeah. What's your next? I think the last hype record for you.
Yeah, my final hype record. I'm just gonna say, listen, if you don't think Bon Jovi is heavy metal, then I will have a discussion with you, sir, madam, because Bon Jovi's New Jersey is a stone cold fucking classic. Like you want it's summertime, you're driving somewhere, maybe you're going to the ocean or you're going to the pool or a lake or something, and you're just having a good old fucking old fashioned summer day. You put on Bon Jovi's New Jersey, man, you're having an exponentially better time. Bad Medicine, come on, Born to Be My Baby, these songs are just rocking, man. They're upbeat. And I know they're not the heaviest band of all time, but man, come on. That's some good ass shit. Tico the Hitman Torres. Richie Sambora's got badass licks on there. Those choruses you can't deny. I mean, come on. So, no, Bon Jovi's not the heaviest of metal bands, but they kick a lot of ass, and that record specifically. Slippery When Wet might be the go to, but not for this guy. I gotta go with New
Uh,
Jersey for my Bon Jovi.
yeah, and I mean, I have had people be like, "Oh, I thought you were a metalhead Bon Jovi man," and I'm like,
Fight him.
listen to
Let's fight him.
Tico Torres on drums if you think there's not
His nickname's the fucking Hitman for a goddamn
some
reason.
metal element in there, and that keyboard
You don't just
player
get
I
that
always
nickname.
thought was cool. He's got a badass Joker tattoo, and I guess he played on the Toxic Avenger musical more recently. So it's like, come on, man.
Listen to Richie
Um,
Sambora's guitar solos, man. That's straight up Van Halen shit. Come
listen to
on.
some of the notes that Bon Jovi
Listen to
fucking
the note choice, the
hits at that
tonality.
time. Like he's making like dog noises at certain points. Only animals could hear certain notes that Bon Jovi hit at this time in his career.
And they brought so
Um,
many people into the metal community that wouldn't have normally been.
oh,
Come on
Bad
now. Get
Medicine.
out of town
Fucking
here.
This is
Yeah.
Desmond Child
Yeah, come
calling in
on.
from the fucking Cadillac
Desmond C.
Rock
Child,
Box.
dog. You
Fucking
want to talk
Sam
about bad
Kinison.
medicine?
Sam Kinison was hanging out, right?
Yeah. Give me a minute. One more time. Bad Medicine's a bad fucking song.
Sam Kinison lets the crowd make the Bon Jovi music video.
Yeah. Badass shit, man. That's what badasses do. They write New Jersey.
But yeah, so my
Get out of
last
here.
hype album is a little record called "Slave to the Grind" by Skid Row. Uh, they're just
Great.
yeah, um, metal. I mean, I don't think people expected this kind of shit to come out. Like, oh, let's put Motley Crue and Judas Priest in a
What is this
blender
shit?
and fucking just go nuts. Dollars to donuts. This is a hype record for sure. Get the fuck out. In a darkened
Oh
room.
yeah, no.
Riot Act. Mud
What?
Kicker. Slave to the
Yeah,
grind. Monkey
Mud
business.
Kicker will make you want to like break your bedroom door down, kick windows out.
I still think Monkey Business on Saturday Night Live is probably one of the coolest things that's been on like mainstream television to this day.
The whole album front to back's just like hit, and
It's
I think
what
they got high in the charts with that record too.
I
Like number one or number two.
yeah.
I know it was like a big deal.
Pretty
Like
sure
whatever
Slave
record
to
they
the
hit was a big
Grind
deal.
and the Pantera record.
Far Beyond.
Far Beyond Driven. Those were like two metal records to reach number one.
All right, Marco. So we've come to the time of the show where we will go into picks this week, and as you said at the top of the show, that it is Oops all new tracks today, and it's also Oops extra tracks. So we each have 6 new satanic tracks for your listening pleasure this week. And Marco, you go ahead and start it off. What is your first new track?
My track is from a band called Currents, Currents. This song is called A Flag to Wave. It The band's frontman, Brian, had this to say. It's about a search for identity and purpose. The song is I send out to anyone looking for meaning in their lives and to those who have found it. Um, so I guess this band Currents has been making a name for themselves with shows around the world, the USA, Europe, the UK, Canada, so far. Um, they just seem so far like
What kind
really
of style are
humble
they?
dudes. Um, uh, I would say that's up for debate. I don't even know what the kids would call this. To me, it sounds like uh, a kind of polished take on death metal, like a modern. I don't know, some
Word.
sort of, maybe the kids would put some sort of core in there. Um, but to me, it just rocks. I don't know. I don't even feel a need to label it really. There's definitely that
Sure.
vibe that I love from In Flames at times. Um, so yeah, definitely check it out. It's called the band is Currents, and my track is A Flag to Wave. There is a music video for it that you can check out on the internets.
Hell yeah. Cool. My first pick is a band called Sharptooth, and the song is called Evolution. This record just came out Friday. Um, just really kick ass shit. It gets to be like punk, punky metal, like it's straight up thrashing, scream vocals. Their singer's really cool. Songs are fun. It's just straight up just ripping. So really excited. So I think this is just their second record. So it's cool to see a newer band out on the scene just thrashing shit up.
Hell yeah! My next track is um, from the band called Seven Dust. This is The Day I Tried to Live,
Word.
and fuck, this is a powerful song. It's a Soundgarden song, and I just think the way they channel the original track while sounding, just amazing. I don't know what else to say. Uh, is really something special. Like, a lot of the times a cover is like, does it do it justice? Does it do something new? I think it kind of somehow does both at the same time. Um, and just kind of the message of like learning how to live a better life. So, so the vocalist of Seven Dust, LaJohn Witherspoon, I definitely can feel what he was feeling here, like being like, oh, I have to sing a Chris Cornell song. Um, but just the fact that he was kind of nervous about it and then comes out and fucking nails it, I think is really cool. So check out Seven Dust doing Soundgarden's "The Day I Tried to Live."
Hell yeah, man. My next pickup here is the band Avatar, and the song is called Colossus. I never really listened to these cats before, so I kind of just checked this one out. Actually saw an ad for it and checked it out. It's got a fun little groove to it. So it's kind of like a groove metal track. So I'm not super familiar with the band otherwise, but this one's It's fun. It's got cool. It was getting caught in my head, so yeah, definitely check out Avatar's Colossus. It just came out.
Hell yeah. Um, my next track is it is by the band is called Captain Blackbeard, and this song is called Sonic Forces. Have you ever heard of these cats?
Uh-uh.
So it's one of those things where originally you hear it and you're like, "Yo, is this ironic? Are they serious?" And then my interpretation is yes, they are fucking serious, and they cut their teeth kind of on like Graham Bonnet and Bruce Kulick. It is kind of right in that space of definitely some of that sound of the first Jovi record, or some of the, maybe the hardest Journey songs are definitely felt in there. Um, but yeah, they're from Stockholm, Sweden, and this track, check it out, is called Sonic Forces, and I am really digging this record, Captain Blackbeard, and it's just I don't even know what else to say. Hard rock, heavy metal. Um, they've supported people like Joe Lynn Turner and Graham Bonnet. They've had Bruce Kulick guest on records. So if any of that sounds good to you, I'm pretty sure you will dig what they're doing here.
Hell yeah, man. I'll have to check it out. My next pick is a band called Valkyrie, and this song is called Evil Eyes. They kind of have like that, I don't know, more like laid back, grooving, old school metal, more like kind of hard rock, like you know the band Horizont, kind of that vibe, almost like in that Magnum world of like I don't know. It's hard to put. I'm trying to think of what genre it would be. It's like less distorted guitars, more like rocking, but definitely have like the twin guitar stuff going. But yeah, it's I've never like I've never listened to these dudes before, but yeah, I was digging it. I'm a real big fan of the band Horizont, and this is kind of reminded me of that. Um, so yeah, Valkyrie, Evil Eyes.
Rad. Next up on the playlist, Heavy Radio 4, is a band called Dark Forest. The song is called The Midnight Folk, and they are from the Midlands of England, um, where metal has seen such a crazy evolution, and now it's kind of like a small but growing metal movement. Um, Interesting, one of the places where metal was birthed has kind of gone through all the different stages of everywhere else. But there's one thing I thought that was cool about this band, um, Dark Forest, is that they do kind of wear the bands that they love on their sleeve. They're proud to admit they like Blind Guardian, um, and it's just kind of this fast blend of heavy metal and power metal. Um, not taking no shame in loving medieval times and wolves and wizards and that sort of thing. Um, they look like you know they came from the Renaissance fair, perhaps, and the vocals are just really cool and really raw, but definitely like maybe if you dug what Blind Guardian was doing on their first couple records, that's a good starting point for a reference. But check it out. Um, yeah, Dark Forest, fucking, um, bringing the power in the metal.
Hell yeah, man. My next track is Iron Angel Sacred Slaughter. This is some just straight up kick ass thrash shit. I know once again this is another band I haven't really dug into, but I'm definitely going to now. So this song just caught my attention and just came out. So hell yeah, I'm gonna check out. I'm gonna actually go back and check this the rest of this record out because I was really digging this one. Iron Angel Sacred Slaughter. I don't know if have you heard of those cats?
I
Iron
what I
Angel.
I actually had them on a list to check out. I know that they're from Germany, and I think they actually were old school, right? Like they've been around.
Yeah, they sound like from his voice. It sounds like yeah, like he's an older cat. Like yeah, like sound like they've been back from the day.
Yeah. Um,
But I don't know why they never crossed my path before. But I was grooving it, so I'm gonna go back and listen to them.
it also made me think of this badass movie. I don't know if they were named after it, but there's a movie, Iron Angel, that's about like the Korean War. Um,
Okay,
but yeah,
I know
that's what
Iron
I thought.
Eagle with
Not to
Louis
be
Gossett
confused
Jr.
with Iron Eagle.
I
Some
know
great
that one.
songs on that soundtrack too. But
Yes.
my next track is it's called Master Rocket Power Blast. So uh, you know what you're getting into. The band is called Black Rainbows. They call themselves a heavy psych stoner space band, um, spreading the word of fuzz. So it's definitely the album is
I can hear it
called
now.
Cosmic Ritual Super Trip. Um, to me,
That
it's
sounds right.
just it's got kind of a '70s attitude. Um, like you mentioned on a previous episode, I'm also kind of particular about this kind of music, and I think they kick the ass. So check out Black Rainbows. Badass artwork, badass songs. This song's called Master Rocket Power Blast from Black Rainbows.
Oh yeah. All right. My next track is by a band called Carnation, and it is Sepulture of Alteration. Um, it sounds to me just like straight up like old school death metal. It's pretty kick ass. Um, the tone's great. The band sounds great. I was just really grooving it. It's just one of those tracks that just straight up got my attention right away, and that's another one on this list where I'm gonna have to go back and check out the rest of the album. So I never heard them before, so I don't know if I'm sleeping on these cats, but yeah, I was digging it.
Hell yeah. My probably most pleasant surprise and uh, most badass. My brother actually brought this band to my attention, um, and I guess they were out of India and then went to Hong Kong and then went back to. Uh, Apologies for my attempt to pronounce this. Karnataka, a state in the
Mm-hmm.
southwestern region of India. The band is called Girish and the Chronicles, um, and I guess they abbreviate it as GATC. But vocalist Girish Pradhan has been kind of carrying this band since 2009. But this track is called Bad Shepherd from Girish and the Chronicles. And this is really, I don't know, this really got my attention because it's kind of in that space of kind of when Don Dokken was on top of his form and Dokken was truly rocking. And,
Mm-hmm.
um, kind of the first Joby record, Headspace and Skid Row. It really kind of reminds me of, when they were firing on all cylinders with Sebastian Bach. Like I can't say enough about this record. Definitely check it out. Um, I can't imagine. I think they're going to be, if they keep up at this pace, they will be, a household name at some point. Um, Girish and the Chronicles, just a badass band from India, which I think is really cool because uh, only recently, to my understanding, only recently have bands like Megadeth even played in India. So probably they're breaking down doors in a huge country, um, playing some really fucking good, whatever you want to call it, hard rock or heavy metal. melodic rock. It's kind of touches all the bases there.
Hell yeah! Always good to see new metalheads coming out, especially new places. So that's exciting to see, and I'll definitely check that out. Let's see. My final pick for the week is a band called Decayer, and the song is called "Talented Son." And this also wins my bonus points fight riff of the week. This the way the song starts out. I hit like replay like 4 or 5 times just to hear the intro because it just starts out so. It's just intense. You guys will have to check it out. It's just a brutal ass song. It's not stuff I always gravitate to like always on the reg, but this is just like when you want to hear that, just the brutal fight riff shit. Sometimes you got to get it out. So this just immediately, like, once again, got my attention right away, and I was just like, okay, okay. So, um, hell yeah,
Yeah,
Decayer.
turn my headphones up.
Yeah, you guess sometimes you just need that just punch fight riff. Here we go. We're gonna throw some shit around the room. So that's my pick of the week for that.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Heavy Radio 4 in the books. Let us know what you think of these
Hmm.
tracks. Let us know your hype albums. And, just keep hanging in there, fighting the good fight. Stay hungry. Don't let the
Yep,
bastards
yep,
get you
and
down. Whatever D. Snyder reference we can
never, hell,
close
fucking
out with.
never, and definitely check out our playlist on Spotify and YouTube. And Marco and I are working on getting some new guests coming down the pipeline, but we'll always be here, of course. So we'll be seeing you guys soon.
Hell yeah. Heavy
Rock on,
Radio
rock
4.
on. Peace.